Hey guys.
What's going on, people?
So, this is actually our first time live. Usually we'll shoot, we'll do like an episode on like a Wednesday or something, and we'll put up the next day. This is episode 18 that we're shooting right now, so I figured to kind of give you a little bit behind the scenes as far as to, what, when you're starting a podcast, what that kind of entails. It's not really much, to be honest.
No, couple button clicks.
Yeah.
Get the mic close enough. Drink in hand.
Yeah. So with that being said, let's go jump right in.
This year this made. I think this one's made. We got them all plugged in.
Yeah, we got them all.
Away with that. Okay.
Yeah, I did that earlier.
All right. Oh.
So that being said, 1, 2, 3.
That's good.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
What's going on, people?
How was your week, man?
Oh, it was alright. It was good. Just hot, Florida. Just when I think I'm over it, it's like, oh, it's fucking 98 degrees with 95% humidity.
Yeah. It's been interesting. Can't wait September already. It's literally less than 120 days until the end of the year.
Oh,
it's the fourth quarter right now.
I feel like the year just flies by anymore.
Not like it was back in the day. Like, I felt like the year used to drag.
I think I'm so busy that it seems like the days just fly by.
Yeah. Shit, like, especially when you're working a lot, like, you don't look up, like, you don't even know what day it is. Like,
oh my god, that happened to me the other day. I was like talking to a customer and I was like, what day is it? She goes, you too, huh? I'm like, yeah, one of them days.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like, I've gotten a lot accomplished, but I feel like I'm still, I don't know, I feel like you're always comparing yourself to the next person. Sometimes you gotta stop doing that.
No, you can't be comparing yourself to anybody but you. Like, you should be comparing yourself to the old you.
Yeah.
What have you done in the last 6 months? What have you done in the last year?
Yeah. I mean,
how have you improved your life compared to who you were?
I mean, I feel like you forget, like, your progress when you're like, all right, like, shit, like, a year ago, so last September, I was definitely not where the hell I was now.
Well, that's because you're in it every day. It's gradual to you. It's like you got a friend that has a dog. It gets a puppy, and then you don't see him for a couple of months, and you come back, and the dog is like,
yeah,
fucking yay big. And
yeah,
you're like, damn, what happened? And they're like, oh, I didn't notice.
Yeah, definitely. That's kind of funny. That's where when you got Duke initially, and I'm like, all right, small. Then you had the yappy ears and stuff, and then all of a sudden I'm like, you look like Rottweiler. You look like the bigger Rottweiler that chased me. I'm like,
bro, he grew in the strangest way because it was like, I swear it was like a cartoon, because like all of a sudden, like, he was kind of proportioned. He had like big feet when I first got him, but then his head just started getting bigger and bigger, and the rest of his body didn't get any bigger. But then all of a sudden, like I would notice, like, 1 week his front legs would be longer, and then the next week his back legs would be longer, and then it was like he was growing in odd areas.
That must be so, like, so weird for, like, an animal, because, like, you're, like, and it's kind of like, what is it, that little sequence in The Lion King where he's dancing as a cub, and then it's like midway, and now
just walking in
Yeah,
by him, shaking
exactly.
their heads back and forth.
Yeah, I'm just like, that shit must be the weirdest. That shit must be like surreal. Cause like, imagine, you know, the like even like like the little ass gorillas, and then now you're like silverback. You're like,
I don't think it's the same thing. Cause like, take Duke, he doesn't realize how big he is.
He doesn't.
When he
Not
jumps
at all.
on people, he just leans his ass into you and
Yeah.
like puts all his weight to where he'll take you right to the ground.
yeah, he's
He,
fucking heavy.
he thinks he still thinks he's yay big.
Yeah,
And I think some species are more self-aware than others, but
Yeah.
I don't necessarily, like dogs in particular, they're somewhat self-aware, but not even close to the same extent that we are.
no.
We're conscious of so many, not just
Internal and external factors.
exactly, yeah, there's so much that we are aware of that just, it changes the game.
Yeah, I mean the amount of things that I think about, like when I have just a time to think to myself, where sometimes I'm like, I don't know, like you'll kind of just veer off, like your mind will just wander, and it's just like it's the weirdest thing, because it's like, especially like you're thinking about scenarios that would like never happen. It's just like, that would never happen. Like what?
You're talking about like just like making up shit in your head, like
Yeah.
I mean, I think everybody does that. Like you'll be sitting in a room with a bunch of people and you'll imagine like somebody kicks the door in,
Yeah.
and then you just pick one, slam it on the ground, and just look around like, what?
Yeah.
Nah, I definitely feel you on that.
I think the funniest thing is when like those things happen, you see the people that are like, it's kind of like what we talked about, like the people in the Matrix and the people aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Where the people are a little bit more self-aware, where it's like, as long as I don't get hurt and I do this little job and I keep doing, and life will happen, and that's fine. And then you have people where it's like, are aware there's danger around the corner everywhere.
It's kind of a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
I mean, some people are perfectly happy just not being aware of their surroundings, keeping their head down, minding their own business, going to work, coming home, living their lives. And then there's people that are aware of everything, and I think it's almost worse. I think there's worse aspects to both sides, but I think it's worse for the people that are aware but then have no ability to affect any kind of change. It's like, I notice all this shit going on, and I can't do anything about it.
I can feel you on that. I feel like it's also like, you hear about all the type of crazy ass stories where people are just minding their own business and they get snatched up, and there was I didn't realize this was recent, but there was like a low tier rap or whatever. He just got out of jail or whatever. He couldn't have any guns or anything in Atlanta, and his girlfriend was coming home. She went to get out of her car. She got snatched up, put in the car. He saw it happen. He's calling the cops, things like that. They find out hours later, shot, strangled to death.
Oh no. You gonna have to gun me down.
And then
it ain't going down like that.
And then the messed up thing about it is, can't have any guns, things like that, because he had a gun-related issue. And then all those things, of course, with him not being like still on the low tier, but still being in online space, people just like, yeah, you couldn't do anything, things like that. And I'm like, that's probably the worst thing, when people are like, I've never done anything to anybody. And now this it's like this random occurrence where it's like, this was going to happen to anybody. It just happened to be You were the one that just didn't get away.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, that has to fuck with people. Because it's like, I've done everything, especially the ones that, like, I just mind my business. And this person, this deranged motherfucker just decided, I'm just gonna do this to you because I can. Type of shit.
Yeah, we got some sick people on this planet that just kind of get off hurting other people.
I've never understood that. That is the most, like, and it's almost, if you do the same thing to them, it's not even gonna make, it's not gonna make it right. It's not gonna make you feel any better. Because they could have blood in their mouth, they could be literally tied, whatever, all fucked up, and they're just laughing at you in your face and type of shit. And that, like,
I mean, a pair of size 12 Tims will fix that real quick. They can't smile at me, they ain't got teeth.
That's true. I mean, but you are right, because, I mean, there's a lot of these issues that, like, in the world, you can't, no amount of money, no amount of bullets are going to, you can't kill everybody.
Mm-hmm. That shit don't work no more.
It's like, and it's one of those things where it's like, the people that are starting to see over the veil, if you will, it's like even when we're sitting here with this podcast, you got men, women, children being murdered, tortured, having things done to them that you wouldn't do to an animal in this country, across the world. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, you have to have empathy, but you can't have, like, I feel like almost too much empathy is debilitating. Because if you thought about every...
I mean, like, too much empathy, you're bordering on naivety.
Yeah.
You're I mean, optimism is good. You need optimism. You need to look on the bright side. Because,
but
I mean, otherwise you're slipping into nihilism.
Exactly.
And then it's like, why even... What's the point?
And then you're more of a cynic, and it's just like, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of these things. I'm sorry to say this, but it just, the only thing you can do is facilitate it in the least harmful way possible. And what does that even look like?
Facilitate what?
Like a lot of atrocities or things like that. It's like, like you were saying, you know, can't kill a whole bunch of people to where it's like.
Oh no, you can. It's just.
Is it going to get your point across at the end of the day?
Seems to be working pretty well in North Korea. Granted,
but that's an echo chamber. That's like that's.
Yes and no.
I mean.
Well, I mean, native North Koreans don't even know that they're anything other than I forget what they call themselves. It's something to do with Kim Il Sung's. They tie his name into it, and they name the entirety of the people after it. They got
what?
Well, they're their own. Faction of people, essentially. I
mean,
it's illiteracy. It's
outright manipulation.
Well, it's ignorance. The people there are so. Ignorance is rampant on the planet. As connected as we are, and as much information that's available, that it's not like that everywhere.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. We've been talking about Afghanistan a lot.
Yeah.
Right across the border to the west is Iran.
Yeah.
Not exactly our friends.
Yeah.
but they are sufficiently advanced society. I mean, they build aircraft. They have international airports.
I don't know much about
Iran. I would take the time to really invest and learn about them because they're coming up. We're not exactly happy about it, but I mean, at a certain point, it's not our job to tell who can advance past a certain level.
I mean, that's one thing where, unfortunately, it's like, if people don't do as we say, it's one of those things that we just don't like. For whatever reason. It's like, if they don't fall into line with what we're doing, or trade with people that we don't like, then it's a super problem. And that's one of those things
Well, real quick, let me roll it back to the ignorance thing, and then because I really want to touch on that point. We've all seen the video of the Afghanis attaching themselves to the transport plane leaving the airport.
Yeah.
The video of the guy hanging on and he falls to his death. Those people, realistically, the education. There's no education system. These people are essentially farmers, and that's about it. Majority of the people.
So there's no doctors. There's no, because like
in Afghanistan.
Yeah.
No, that's very much a third world country. Those people legitimately thought that they could just hold onto the plane and ride it all the way to America. At no point did they think that they would get to a certain altitude and not be able to breathe, not be able to hold on. And that's why you had them hanging on. And all that aside, the fact that someone would go to those lengths.
Yeah. Because you would think, like, it starts to get up in the air, I'm going to fall. They're like, I'm holding on for fucking dear life. I didn't realistically think about logistically, like, I would just think, all right, if you're hanging on that much, I'm like, I might let you in there. But it's like, it just goes to show
those planes were overloaded to begin with. There wasn't any room on the plane.
Yeah. So,
and you can't overload those aircraft because there's a specific weight limit, and if you're over that plane may take off, but it ain't staying up for long. I mean, how many rock bands do we gotta lose to realize that fact?
Oh yeah.
Fucking loading up too much luggage and the bitch drops out of the air halfway off the runway. Yeah. But get back to what you were saying. Damn it, Rockstar line got me.
I believe I was saying that I was saying that
it's we were talking about it's not our job to go in and tell them how it is.
Yeah.
No, that style of foreign policy where you got to realize the system that we have here, the culture, the way this country runs,
it's not going to work everywhere.
That shit ain't a one-size-fits-all glove. You can't, like, this whole nation-building idea of us just going there and sinking money into these places and thinking they're just going to put on blue jeans and
yeah. Like,
they're
not in Iran, but
two entirely different cultures
that are way older than us. It's like, it's almost like a baby telling a old.
It's not just that they're different. They are essentially the complete opposites. I mean, Afghani culture, Muslim culture in itself, it doesn't mesh with Christianity. I mean, as far as we've slidden down overall to the atheist slope in this country, or just kind of drifted away from religion in itself. I wouldn't even say it as much atheist as maybe agnostic, where it's not so much. Mostly people tend to have a belief in something, but they just don't they don't subscribe to organized religion.
Yeah, well, a lot of people, they've been burned by it. They've been burned by it, and not like
literally.
I'm starting to realize, I'm starting to see more of like the Mormon religion right now is like, there's a lot.
That shit trips me out.
There's a lot. Like, there's a lot.
Have you read the Book of Mormon?
I've never read the Book of Mormon,
bro.
I got connected with a young lady on LinkedIn. I was going to recruit her. Her fiance is in Salt Lake City, Utah. Mormon, like she's in South Carolina right now. She's trying to figure this shit out. Like, she's in timeshare sales right now.
So and she's the devil.
Yeah, and I mean, no. It's
no disrespect if you watch this, but
yeah, but I didn't realize, like, she's like, yeah, like, there's no, like, until, like, we're married, we can't even really be in the same. And like,
I'm gonna tell you,
her fiance is really tapped into the church, and I didn't understand that until I'm like, oh damn, oh, it's like that. I had no idea, honestly.
I'm trying to word this right without
okay.
coming off like a complete asshole.
Okay.
But if you'll believe the Book of Mormon, you'll believe anything.
It's like that?
I mean, but I can't, because, like, I got nothing against faith. And I understand that there are aspects of our reality that are governed by forces that I will never understand.
There's a lot of people that need it. Like, honestly, as much as I don't necessarily like organized religion, there's people that are living in straight up, like, there's poverty that they don't have. Like, if they don't have religion, what do they got?
Well,
realistically,
it's not just that for me. It's the people that are almost living in abject poverty, but then still give that tithe to the church every week.
There was one of the mega church guys that he's gotten back into favor with everybody because
Joel Osteen.
No, not Joel Osteen. It's the guy. He looks like he has so much fucking Botox. I've seen him on like certain videos. It's like
TV evangelist.
Yeah, the TV evangelist. He apparently he took his $15 million plane and went over to Afghanistan and got more people. I don't know. Glenn Beck. Yeah.
I'm not necessarily. I'm not gonna say I'm a fan of Glenn Beck. I'm a very big fan of him doing that. He put out millions of dollars.
I'm surprised.
Millions of dollars of his own money.
He didn't have to do it.
No, he didn't have to. And it's like, people were hating on him because he's doing that. Well, he's just doing it for the good publicity.
So? Like, what would you rather him do? Not do anything?
Well, it's like that dude that goes around signing up Republican voters, and he goes to just random cities and he just cleans up trash. He organizes events where volunteers come out and they just clean up. Like, they'll go. They went to like a handful of cities and they did, like, I'm talking multiple blocks, just going the entire area, cleaning up every little bit of trash. And it's like, well, he's just doing that for the publicity and the whatever. And I'm like, okay, but he's still going and cleaning up American cities without being asked, without being paid. Who the fuck cares why he's doing it?
Exactly. Honestly, at this point, unfortunately, some of this stuff that we want to get done, people are going to have to be incentivized or whatever else to get it done. it's unfortunate. Most people not going to do things out of the kindness of their own heart. That shit is dead for the most part.
It's not dead. It's dying, but it's not
definitely
dead.
dying.
That shit's on life support.
And unfortunately, it's like it's a double-edged sword with that because you want to show awareness, but you don't want to appear like you're doing it just for the camera. So, and it's one of those things where
so don't bring the camera. Just do
okay.
it.
All right.
Word will get out, whether you want it to or not.
Okay. Because then there's a lot of people where it's like if you say something and you don't have proof that did it happen.
Yeah, screenshot or didn't happen, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, if you got somebody chasing clout for doing the right thing,
there's worse things to chase clout for.
Like, come on now, y'all gotta find something else to bitch about. I'm sorry. You may not like the fact that he's. You may not like Glenn Beck for his political opinions. You might not like him for his personal opinions.
Yeah.
But the simple fact is that man went out and paid out millions of dollars, set up services, logistics.
Yeah. Shit that he didn't have to do. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, and then if he wouldn't have did it and had the means to do so, why didn't you do anything? Well, you motherfuckers told me you didn't want me to do it. Or you, like, so it's like, I'm damned if I do, I'm damned if I don't.
The man found a need and he filled it.
Yeah. Whether he's doing it for publicity or not, like, does it matter at this point, really?
I mean, realistically, if he's saving lives, what else does it matter?
Yeah.
I'll be honest, dude. I'm tired of talking about Afghanistan, but I mean, like every day that goes by, the shit just gets worse and worse.
I honestly thought it couldn't get. At this point, it's like if you got everybody out, like I'm sorry, shit is it's gonna do what it's gonna do.
And there's nothing. Get everybody out.
We still do.
No, bro. There's still people there.
Even after we get all these people out, then what happens to Afghanistan? Does it just become a...
Taliban's got control right now.
Yeah. And I saw something that, of course, they were translating. They're like, a lot of the women are afraid. They're burning their diplomas and everything like that. They're afraid where they're just, Taliban are taking lives. And you had one of the Taliban leaders, of course, was translating, nah, that's just the propaganda of the old regime. And I'm just like, that's what y'all do.
Okay, then my question is, are you going to institute Sharia law? Because if you are, I mean, that's the same shit as the old guard. So,
yeah.
Explain to me what's different.
Yeah.
Are you going to let little girls go to school? Are you going to let women be anything more than slaves in your household?
I honestly don't. I just don't understand it because I mean, we both grew up with primarily women in where we lived in, so especially nowadays, I'm not even just with over there, even here, like you have all this like high value men, high value women, boss girls, whatever, boss babes, whatever, and I get where a lot of women are coming from, where it's like, I don't want to be at the mercy of a man. Most men don't want to be at the mercy of other men. So I understand where it's like, you have to go out there and get it because it's not happening. You don't have a partner. But at the same time, like, you don't have to be us, but you got to be a little bit better. Like, I'm sorry, the world is not going to go back to what that shit was back in the day. And
it might. I mean, you're talking about medieval ideology.
I'm just like, if I had a daughter, I'm like, some some of the shit that I've heard, some of the shit that I've seen, which I don't even know if it's, especially back in the day when I was hearing about Sharia law, and I'm like, what is the problem with a woman, whether it's your wife, your niece, your daughter, choosing her own destiny and not being at the mercy of a person that does not value her and is doing God knows what to her just because he can?
Well, we like to complain about us being a patriarchy. I mean, death to the patriarchy! Da, 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 da.
I swear to God.
I know how you really feel.
God. It's different because I'm going to have to stop this. By the way, guys, if you're doing a podcast off an Anchor, that's what we're using. It's very weird. If I was doing that on the phone that this live stream is getting shot at, it'd shoot for the entire hour. Yeah. Because I'm doing it on the computer, it only lets me do this in 30-minute increments. So we're going to kind of still
come on,
talk.
Anchor. Come on, Anchor. Get your shit together.
Yeah.
Come on now.
But it just doesn't make any sense to me because, like, we have biological differences as men and women. We already know that.
No, we don't.
Oh, my God. But it's... Like, I understand women wanting to have their own. There's been a long time that you guys haven't been able to have your own. But just also balancing that.
You need to stop mansplaining.
Okay.
You need to quit it right now. I can't speak with any kind of I mean, obviously neither of us knows what it's like to be a woman.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I know what it's like to be a human being.
Yeah.
And why is it so hard just to respect one another? A simple level of respect. A little bit of respect goes a very long way.
There's a lot of people, whether they want to admit it or not, some of them will gladly admit it. That's why you get these little nuggets here and there online when people being real stupid. I'm like, wow, you really put that on camera. You stupid person, you. Where they go off of what you look like, how old you are, all these different things that don't really matter.
It matters to an extent. I think age matters 100%. I mean, our brains aren't even fully developed till we're at least 25.
So, guys, we're back.
Yes, we are.
Yeah. So, what was I saying again?
I don't know.
Okay.
You went off mansplaining and
yeah. Okay.
You're irritating all the women watching. So
yeah. Okay. So we'll get into that. As far as I have no idea what it is to be
mansplain about mansplaining.
Yeah.
Bro, have you seen the video of the chick? I don't know if it was like a city council or a town council meeting, or it could have been like a board. I forget what the context was, but this woman's like asking questions to this guy, and she goes, "I don't need you to mansplain me," and he just goes, "What does that mean? You gotta watch the video, but it's
Did she actually explain it, or she went around in circles?
No, she had no idea what she was even talking about, because the man was trying to make a simple point, and she didn't like the point he was making, so she tried to basically devalue everything he was saying and just negate it by saying, "Oh, you're mansplaining."
There's a guy, because I watch a lot of TikTok. I haven't seen the guy's actual face, but he'll interview like women and shit. Like a lot of it's apparently it's on like the strip of like Las Vegas. and where he'll say something and they'll agree with it, and then it's like, all right, well, what is there was one where he just asked it wasn't even a loaded question, but it's like, that's sexist, and I'm not going to be answering, and then she walked away. And I was just like, wow. I mean,
what was the question?
It was, if women are, if women go on OnlyFans, I think this one was actually at a adult film convention, whatever. Mm-hmm. So he asked her a question. Well, if women, of course, are presenting themselves, in a certain light, why do they expect to be not treated as such?
The only thing that I'm gonna say on that and the OnlyFans subject is that's just not for me.
Yeah.
I'm not wasting my money. I mean, I'll go buy a side by side and fucking ride through the woods. I don't need to stare at your titties from a screen.
Yeah.
And then I'll say two other things.
Yeah.
Your body is a depreciating asset, and I hope your kids don't see it.
Yeah.
Other than that, God bless you.
Yeah.
And have fun. But again, your body is a depreciating asset, and I really hope your kids don't see it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of OnlyFans was going to take down content, but they realized that 90% of that they're not doing.
They lost their minds.
Yeah,
they lost their minds.
Yo,
you trying to talk about riots? They'd have tore the country apart. So they said, no, you can have it back.
No, they started because you had the fanatics, the religious fanatics, going after the payment process of people, fucking their money up. So there's another one out there that's on the basically it's all you OF people come over here, and then they were going because OnlyFans was not initially what OnlyFans
that
is.
Was not what that shit was meant.
It was kind of like another Patreon.
Exactly.
That's all it was.
It was meant to be a competitor to Patreon because Patreon was starting to be a little overly selective on content, and it started taking a very ideological slant, and they were shutting down people that they didn't agree with. So OnlyFans.
No, I had no idea.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple people that I don't know, a lot of the dating coaches and different people, shit like that.
What the fuck is a dating coach?
Oh my god. You know what kills me?
That's a job?
Yes. People that are not in relationships, more times than not. People that are our age. Some people, I'm like, how the fuck are you a dating? I'm talking about men and women. How the fuck are you a dating coach and you don't have what I want? You're not in a relationship. What the fuck? Now don't get me wrong. You have the pickup artist culture and all that type of shit.
That's the thing, though, is they know so much about relationships that they don't want that shit. Yeah. No, it's usually. Now this is a personal opinion. This is not a fact, but it's usually people that are unhappy with their own decisions or relationship experiences, to where they think they know what works and what doesn't, which most of the time it's really just what doesn't work.
Yeah. Because
that shit ain't working for them. I don't know.
What? So, there was a girl.
You get a psychology degree?
No, most women don't have degrees.
So high school diploma?
Literally a high school diploma. Yeah. Yeah, it's
not that.
I mean, some of them actually have some really good information. Some of them are just you're
guy engage in a conversation.
A lot of them do these like dumbass these games. I'm too old to be playing games. Games. Yeah. Like I'm not with fucking games. Like I'm honestly.
What kind of games?
Not good games.
What kind of? Give me one.
Okay. The typical shit where it's like starving them for attention or yeah, like shit.
I thought you.
What do you mean?
So I'm picturing you meeting up with this coach and then telling you games to play with people to get them to date you. I'm like,
what?
This is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
No.
Break it down for me.
No, not even.
Okay,
no,
so
even
you're okay. So they basically get paid to teach you how to manipulate people.
Pretty much. You have the men on the spectrum. You have the women on the spectrum, and
this is the peacocking thing and
I'm an alpha. Don't be a simp. I'm like, you got people literally paying like $100 per coaching session.
Meaning,
dude, there's a big
Listen, all right. So I guess.
Well, you had.
I don't know. I've never had the issue where I don't know. Maybe it's just.
Well, it's different.
Because you're talking about people our age, so like.
Well, it's different now. You have a lot.
You're right. I've been out the game for a while. So
you've been out the game, but it's also like I'd say maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. So like about 2015, 2016, you had that shift where you always had the people that could do both were always gonna fucking thrive. But with the whole dating apps and things like that, you have people like there's a chick on TikTok, New York, whatever. She said Asian. Well, a little bad one.
It's racist.
Yeah.
Had to take it there, huh?
Nah. Yeah. She had
Stop Asian hate.
She had 430 matches in 2 years. Did you
430 matches
off of one app in 2 years, and she couldn't find.
I don't know if that's a lot or not.
That's a fucking lot.
That's a lot.
It's a fucking lot.
In what kind of time period?
Over 2 years, and she couldn't find anybody.
How many of them did she meet?
Exactly. Like
it's so sketchy
because it's sketchy, but people don't understand. I'm sorry, like.
Well, it's not like you're not going to be sketched out about meeting some stranger off Tinder, but like.
I mean,
females got to be real wary about who meeting up with.
No, but I get all that. But like, Hinge is supposed right now, it's a part of the big three right now. There's Tinder, which was like the top one. It's like primary hookup, whatever. You might meet a motherfucker. Bumble, it's in their court.
From what I understand.
And then Hinge is like more like I met a lot of girls off of Hinge that I actually went out on dates with, shit like that, more than anything else. Tinder is just, but. It's different now. Like you could talk to 5 to 10 people in a year. Out of those 5 to 10, you might meet up with 5, and then you might find the love of your life or whatever else. And you might rock in like a year, 2-3 year relationship. You can't do that. Like,
I mean, shit.
It's gonna have to be 20, maybe 40, maybe 50. Are you willing to meet that many people?
I mean, our early 20s, I'd fuck around, go to the bar, and chat up, up to like 10 people in a night.
Yeah, but you have a lot
varying lengths of time depending on if there was chemistry or not. But
but it's different now because what the dating apps have given is access to people that, because for the most part, I don't know if I see you out on the street or the gym or whatever else, I'm gonna talk to you, but
you always been like that though.
Got better with time. It wasn't like that always.
I remember way back, like we were at XTU, and you just chatting up.
I was so fucking it's
some girls in like Daisy Dukes, cowboy boots, and a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Tiny little blonde things.
Yeah.
How y'all doing?
I was so mad that like after I did that. I don't know how I didn't throw up in front of everybody. After was it Vince's or Vince's
Marty.
cousin?
No, it was Vince's cousin
Oh
Marty.
my god,
that dude,
fucking asshole.
Will set. He loves the setups. He loves it.
Yeah.
Not a common thing, but when he can get one in, he'll get it in.
Yeah.
And it's always bad. Always bad.
I was okay because like it was Bacardi and whatever else, and he put some extra shit.
No, it was like Bacardi and Coke, and then he dumped like a beer in the beer bong, and then you just housed it.
Yeah. God, that shit was rough. And then like
Bacardi 151 too.
Yeah, it was. That shit was rough. They don't even sell that shit anymore. No. But yeah, and then like I was talking to this brunette that I came to find out was his ex.
Biz. That was Garth's ex.
And then I lost her somewhere. I was like, shit. But yeah. She was hot though. Always liked the brunette stuff. But going back to what I was saying, you have a lot of quantity without quality. So a lot of the dudes that are
shots fired.
I'm be honest, like, and this is no offense to my dudes out there, but I'm be honest with you. Most of you dudes on these dating apps, if you saw that same girl on a dating app, would you approach her in person?
I mean, I would.
Yeah, that's us.
I mean, it was usually like the cutest girl at the bar was usually by herself, looking around, waiting for somebody to come talk to her.
But now it's gotten where I'm gonna be honest too. It's like you had a lot of dudes get like outright humiliated and embarrassed.
That's kind of part of it.
I mean, not to a degree where it's like, especially if they were with their girls. I'm talking about screenshotting them, putting them on video type of shit.
Oh no, I meant just in general.
No.
Shot down.
No,
that's part of the process. You gotta learn how to accept failure. Move the fuck on.
And that's completely fine. But then it's almost where it's like, it's been almost to where it's like you have the girl where it's like, it's one thing getting shot down, but almost like outright disrespected. It's like, yo, I'm like, it really makes, and then it's almost where it's like, cause a lot, like, I said something to the girl. I'm like, if you didn't at least meet 80 out of those 400, then you don't need to be dating. That's 20%.
That's a lot.
That's
80 dudes?
Out of the 430 people you were matching in a 2-year period, you telling me you can.
I mean, you fuck around and get 80 free dinners. I don't know.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know if you about that life. I'm a fat ass. I'll take 80 free dinners in a year.
I mean, it's different. Like, I don't do, cause I mean, like,
your ass is taking me to like Fogo de Chao.
That's how they be, bro. Like, I don't do dinner on the first day anymore. Like, I do an activity. Like, I'll do, like, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't even know if I like you as a person. All I know is I swiped on you and you're attractive. And
I think that's one of the probably like.
And that's a lot of things that girls don't understand. Like, I didn't know what you sounded like. I didn't even know what type of person. Like, I don't get a semblance of who you are by texting. Like, and I get.
I had a coworker.
Yeah.
He was swiping at work,
yeah.
And he had a chick that he was trying to talk to, just wouldn't answer him, and finally like came at him hot, like stop bothering me. I don't want to talk to you. You matched him.
That's the
didn't remove it.
That's the crazy shit. Yeah.
Well, and it was.
It's for attention. That's all it is.
Well, the girl had in her bio, the little whatever on the profile, like a bunch of nonsense, and then looking for serious relationships only.
Of course.
But the very first photo is her in a thong bikini, facing away from the camera with her ass out.
Of course.
And like smiling.
Yeah.
All
the time.
Like, no disrespect.
Yeah.
I'm not. I it's so fucking.
It's
the slut shaming bullshit, but like.
Nah, I mean,
look, if that is what you're presenting as that is your first impression, is that very first photo, and that's what you're coming with. I understand that might get you matches or likes or whatever, but like, you're sending a message with that, and if you like, that was pretty much all her photos were. There wasn't like any kind of candids with friends or like doing other stuff. It was just mostly ass shots and bikinis. She had like 6 photos, I think, and
like,
the dude's like fairly attractive dude.
Yeah. Like stuff like that. It's like,
but it's like, I see that, and I just want to tell them, know that I'm laughing at you, because if you're on here presenting that and asking for a serious relationship, good luck.
It's not that guys don't want a serious relationship, but like all these girls like you. I want you to date with intention. I don't fuck like.
Well, it's like, I understand that you're looking for a serious relationship, but you're setting up a message that you want a fuckboy, and that's what you're gonna get.
And there's a lot of guys where it's like, I'm not gonna like. I've met girls on the first date, and we hooked up. I went out with girls on the second or third time, and we hooked up. Honestly, if I understand girls just don't want to be hopping from partner to partner. I get that to a degree. Like, they just don't want to be giving this stuff out freely, I guess, and no return. But a lot of them try to put this contingent on a relationship, and it's like I get it, but I don't even know if I like you as a person. Like, me meeting you is A, me having sex with you is Z. B through Y, I'm trying to get there. I'm just being honest. I'm not trying to be disingenuous or be a dickhead, but I mean, we talked about this a couple times, like, and this is from anybody, any guy from the age of 18 to like 35. What is the incentive on me becoming your boyfriend? What does that do? Like, at the end of the day, like guys don't want to be in the streets forever. We don't. Like, guys don't want to just, like, that's cool for a time, but everybody wants somebody that they can come home to and things like that. Nobody wants to be sleeping alone all the time.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna say, in this goddamn economy, you need 2 incomes.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where I'm just not gonna know off top. Like, this, I'm sorry, this whole love at first sight I'm sorry, that shit is dead. I know people that say they've experienced it, and I'm not one of them. Sorry, I need to know you as a person. I need to make sure you're not a dumbass. I need to make sure that, especially if I'm like gonna tie my life to you, like, for a long time, I'm like, this whole, like, there's a lot of people out there who are toxic as fuck, both men and women. Like, I'm like, the thing that I've never understood when people cheat, whether it's a man or a woman, you have two options: stay or leave.
Yeah, that
Like, that shit doesn't make any sense. Don't tear my shit up. Don't fucking, like, do anything to me. Like, I had sex with somebody else. We can either get past that and you give me that mulligan and not continually throw it in my face, or we just break up.
Well, for me, it's like, cheating just is not acceptable. Point blank. Period. I mean,
like, it's not the
if
movies.
you're not happy and you want to be with somebody else, move the fuck on. Tell me so I can move on. Like, if you're not trying to be with me, cool. I'll get over that.
Yeah. Like,
don't pretend that you want to be with me and then go fucking people on the side. It's like, make the decision. Either you want to be with me or you don't. There ain't no in between.
Well, what I've been hearing too, as far as like, if like men don't want to be in a relationship, we'll just cut it. Like, women, they'll just drag that shit along, and then it's like, we're done. When you were done with me, like, month.
Nah, see,
like, that shit doesn't make any sense to me.
well, that's not a man-woman thing. That, like, I know dudes that have strung relationships along because they don't want to break it off.
And they want to have their cake and eat it too.
Well, it's like, that Daniel Tosh, he had a bit about wishing that he would come home from work one day, or he would just come home one day, catch his girl blowing a dude on the